So hi everybody, I'm here with Mayeli and we were about to go and do a Facebook Live today, and we have had the most amazing like an hour and 20 minutes trying to work the Facebook Live out. And I'm really, really glad, Mayeli, that you're an expert on computers, but this time we couldn't make it, but we're there, so we'll make it the next time. But what it really taught both of us is the patience. We have had so much fun during this hour and 20 minutes. Instead of like normally, both you and I, we have these personalities that we really want to get things done. But the reality is like when we really stress too much about it and we bang our head against the wall, it's just coming blood, no productivity. So it really taught both of us today to really relax, enjoy the time and have a good time. Meanwhile, we're working things out. So now we came up with this recorded session. So thank you for your patience and thank you for your help. So how are you today, Mayeli?
I'm pretty good. A lot of changes again. I don't know where to start. Where should I start?
Because it was 2 weeks ago since we did was it your first session we did 2 or 3 weeks ago? And then we have done another session.
Yes.
Yeah.
So basically this is our third coaching session, but we have done 2 RTT sessions.
Yeah.
So we have done 2 RTT and this is the third coaching session, and I see things changing for me so fast.
Yeah.
So yes.
It is amazing to hear your story, because where we started from the first beginning, you were feeling like the circumstances around you, they were happening to you, instead of you being the creator of your own reality. Isn't that right?
Yes, I still feel that way though, but more empowered. So I do know that I do have an impact, and I have an impact on my realities. It's I am transitioning from that mindset to this now, which is totally strange.
But just your appearance. I mean, you look so much more confident. You look radiant. You look so happy. It is super, super cool, and I'm so glad for all the people. If you guys watching this now, if you haven't watching the other sessions that we have done, please watch them and see and have a look and see in Mayeli's face where you started and where you are today, because I can definitely see a difference, and I so appreciate that.
Yes, so basically we did our first session 3 weeks ago, was it, or 2.5 weeks ago?
No.
So we started from there 2.5 weeks ago, and right now 2 weeks after the first session, I decided that I wanted to go ahead with a personal project that I have been keeping on hold for 6 years now, and I just said to myself, I can't postpone this anymore. And my reason for postponing it was, yes, when I have the money, yes, when I have the savings, yes, when I am more financially stable, or when I have this in place and this in place and this in place. And I realized that I will never have things in place because I'm not working from my heart and from my passion. And so I felt I was always working on reserve energy, because I feel like if nothing ever goes my way, until I realized that it's because I wasn't believing in myself, because I wasn't doing what I want to do. And so the drive for me to what would give me the drive, and what is giving me the drive, is this idea that I can do stuff. And so yes, I took the decision Thursday or Friday last week, so today's Tuesday. And it came out of the blue. Even you were surprised when I told you. And a lot of things happening. Today, I realized that I wanted to get something done, and I felt rushing, and I felt like something in here. And then I had your little voice telling me like, don't force things. Everything is okay. And I was like, well, I mean, what's the difference if I had that done and finished? And like, if I want to change my lifestyle, and I want to be a different person with a successful mindset and somebody who has things in control, those feelings are not helping me. So I'm becoming aware of many things. So there is a lot going on. So I have decided to start a new business. I'm going to invite people on board to support me. Like, I'm going to borrow money for it. And I feel different. It's
Yeah.
that's the way.
And you're just throwing yourself out there, because when you're in your head, it's like, it's the difference. We spoke about that before, the difference between being in your head and being in your heart. And I think we spoke about it yesterday about all the fears, the talk that is coming up when you want to go for something, and all this, what if you fail? What would this happen? Blah, blah, blah. And all this bubbling that comes from your head. And then I asked you, so when you think about that project, how do you feel? And you were like lighting up, and you look so happy when you're also now thinking of that project. And I said, okay, so those emotions, like when you start to trust your emotions and know that your emotions, they're there to guide you. When you feel very good about something, you will figure out a way to get it, because when you feel good about something, you are on the right path to where you want to be in the future. So I'm super glad to hear that.
Yes. Yes.
And there were because in one of your recordings, so in RTT sessions, for you guys who don't know that, so in RTT sessions, what we do, we go back in regression to find out, okay, where did this belief that you had, where did it start? Why did it start? And then we can heal the past and create a new future. And then we create a recording that you may have been listening to, an audio recording. And in that recording, you said you wanted me to tell you in that recording that you are in the right place at the right moment, and that your subconscious mind is helping you to see stuff that you can't even see with your eyes, and it's going to help you to attract the right things and the right people into your life. And you shared a lovely story with me, and I would, if you don't mind, if you would like to share that story with the people who are watching, because I thought it was absolutely amazing.
Yes. So basically, on Sunday, 2 days ago, I decided that I was going to feel good despite my life screaming at me other circumstances. And I was like, no. Every time I have a bad feeling, or I have a heartache and I don't feel good enough, or I feel I'm just gonna switch to an imaginary Mayeli who has what she wants. And so I was, on Sunday, I worked all day, but I was daydreaming for most of the day too. So I was daydreaming and working. And interestingly enough, I went to the beach. I live 3 minutes from the beach. So I bumped into one of my exes, and it was a really magical experience. And he suggested us to have dinner together and spend time together. And he reminded me of how I want to be treated like a woman, like the way I'd love to be treated. He was such a gentleman, and he took me out and just took care of everything the way I like it.
Yeah.
And I had forgotten, because for some reason, for a long period, I wasn't being treated like that by men. Huh? And just him showing up that day when I decided that I wanted to feel good, and then having that magical evening where I was reminded that I deserve to be treated well. I was like, oh my God, wow. Yeah. And so, yes, that happened. A lot of shifts have been happening. Like, I don't even understand why I decided to take on this project. I just feel I cannot wait any longer. I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
And
because that's what happens when you program your mind. So when you program your mind, and your mind is locking onto those new ideas, it's going to help you. It's going to say to you, you can't wait with that. You just got to do it. That happens for me all the time. So it is awesome what we can actually put into our subconscious. So please keep going.
Yes, and also the mind shifts, like when me deciding, like, if I am hurting, I'm like, well, no, then I'm going to choose to live in an imaginary world. I mean, yes, it's not that I want to live in La La Land. Of course, I want the reality to be equivalent to my mind. But I was like, what about if I'm just used to thinking in a bad way? And how about if I just start changing my thinking patterns and say, okay, this is not how I'm thinking anymore. I'm going to start having nice thoughts all the time. Then I'm pretty sure that my life will change, and it's already changing. I am not really understanding. I was telling, because I had a talk yesterday with Linda, and I was thinking like all of this, and I feel that my actions are still not congruent with the successful me. So I am like, but I want to be doing this, and there are all these negative and bad patterns that I keep on doing, and it's like they're all on my face. It's like, oh my God, this is not how I want to be acting and behaving, but they're still there. So it's really interesting for me to watch how one part of me is advancing, and then the other part is like, I've got to reprogram that. It's really interesting. And like, it's even more strange to feel that there are different parts of you. It's like, wow, crazy. But yes.
There are so many parts of us. Everybody have that. And it is super cool because your inner mind and everything is growing very, very, very rapidly. And science have shown before that it takes 21 days to reprogram your mind and to create a new habit in your life. Then it becomes automatic. But now new studies show that it actually 21 days, it's actually not longer the case. It is 66 days to really, really, really get yourself into a new habit. Then it becomes automatic. So we've got to be patient with ourselves as well, and knowing and just finding everything that happens interesting. That is a word that I teach people all the time, and we have been talking about that a lot, using the word interesting. Okay, now I feel this way, that's interesting. Instead of panicking because you feel that pattern or whatever, you say it's interesting. Use that word instead of weird, that's odd, blah, blah, blah. Just say, okay, that's very interesting. Why do I feel that way?
Yes. And to me, it's like, I mean, this is a case study, but I'm also observing myself, and I'm like, wow. And this is work. Like, for people watching this is work. People, like, I'm working on this. Like, every night before going to bed, I just don't go to bed. I'm conscious of what I'm thinking, and if my heart hurts or I feel frustrated, whatever, I just try to replace that, or I strive for replacing the bad feelings. So, or I read a good book, or I start writing like affirmations or things. So this is like, and this is constant work, and it's not easy, I must say, but you feel totally different. So it's totally worth it. And in the past, when I would hear people saying this, I'm like, oh my God, my life is already so overwhelming. Like, how am I going to take that on board? Like, I don't want that. And actually, my life has been getting easier for the past 2 weeks. So yes, this is work, but it makes your life much happier. So it's rewarding work.
I'm really glad that you are sharing this, because I was listening to a webinar with Robin Sharma, who wrote the Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and he was really talking about change. And he said, okay, so when you are going to create a new habit, first, it's hard. It's work, exactly what you are saying now. And then he said, in the middle, it's messy. And in the end, towards those 66 days, it's going to be awesome. Okay, so there is this process of changing. So you are changing. And I remember when I started to write my gratitude journal about a year ago, it was really hard for me. It was really work, exactly what you're saying right now. It was work. I was like, 10 things, to come up with 10 things I'm grateful for. Today, a year later, oh my goodness, I just keep on writing. This is a bit from what I did this morning, together with my breakfast, and it's just my pen just goes, and it's super interesting. And I could spend a whole day just writing gratitude stuff, because I see my life totally different. So just remembering, like, all kind of change, it starts by being hard work, then it's messy, and then it's super worth.
Yeah, I guess I'm I don't feel it anymore like work, because I guess I'm in the messy period, and
Good.
where everything is like all over the place. I'm like,
yeah, but then you know, yes. And you definitely know that you are in the right place. So now, I mean, your life has shifted in a very short period of time. So now you are about to start your own project. You know, because the last time we spoke on the coaching sessions, we were talking about not saying like, I don't know where to get the money, but instead asking the question, how will I get the money for this? And that idea came to you, like, I know exactly who I can ask to help or whatever. You had an idea came to you because you had an open mind and saying, okay, how will I solve this?
Well, they have got to say yes first. So I'm really curious about how all of this is going to turn out. Like, I still don't know. Like, it could also happen that they say no. And I'm like, this is going to be interesting. And I'm not saying that this is interesting just because you say it, because I started using this word months ago. And I think it's interesting to use this word. And so I said, well, like, even if they say no, I know a solution will come up. And I'm just gonna step back and relax. But I mean, not relax. I'm working on a proposal and everything, and I'm just curious how it is all going to turn out.
Yeah.
And but I feel that my life is gonna be completely different in 6 months from now. And like I can see it. I'm right now. I'm really scared because I've got the financial struggles out. I mean, yeah, and I don't know how to change that story. I want to change it. We were supposed to do our money session yesterday, and for some reason it didn't happen. It couldn't happen. Things just got in the way, and I was like, Yeah. But I also know that as you say, there's no point on forcing things. Exactly. So I don't think it was a self-sabotage thing yesterday. It just probably it was too much happening, and it will happen the next days, and then I'm really curious what's gonna be happening.
Exactly.
And my birthday is on Friday, so, and I really want to have a nice birthday, and I am thinking like, how am I gonna make that happen if like I want this and this and this, but I guess I've just gotta.
Yeah, but this is the thing as well that we were talking and discussing. To relax into things instead of just forcing. Okay, just know you are exactly where you need to be. I mean, there are so many examples around the world where people have said, oh, I survived just because I came too late before that accident happened or whatever. So there are so many stories around the world about this. And so I'm thinking that the whole time, I am exactly where I need to be in this very moment. And when we can start to think about that, like we did when we were doing the Facebook Live and just laughing, we were saying, yeah, we are exactly where we need to be in this very moment. Just know that.
Just for people to know, it did work. It's just that my internet connection was pretty slow, and like we would just hear things very delayed. Yeah. And I'm gonna say this, Linda. And
yeah, because you are marketing expert.
So it did work. It's just that the echo, it was too delayed, and we're gonna do it again when I have a better connection.
Exactly. So the next session we will do for you. So I'm really glad that you're sharing this, that you already feel such a shift. We program your mind to help you to be in the right place at the right time, to meet the right kind of people that are right for you at this very moment. And you met this fantastic person the other day that you had an aha experience with, and he reminded you, okay, this is really how I want to be treated, and all of that. So you are really getting there, which is awesome. Okay, so now you feel, okay, the money is still like an issue. So that is where we will go from now. So how would you describe this very short brief? How would you describe you feel about money right now?
I feel one part of me still feels that I have got to chase it. And this is why I get impatient when I don't get things done, because I link having money to having to do something. And of course it is linked to having to, but it doesn't necessarily happen that way. Sometimes there are clients who just come and pay me in advance, yeah, and I will do the work for them in the next 2 months.
But so your belief is kind of, you have to work, like it's an hour for, it's time you put in. So that is a belief. You got to work really, really hard and produce a lot of hours to get well paid.
And so when I don't, hello, you're there. Yeah. Yes. And so when I don't get things done, I feel like if I have lost control, and I feel I've got to always do something. So it's not like I just don't. Somebody also can contact me tomorrow and say, hey, here we have got this project, step in, this is what we're going to pay, we'll give you this in advance. Like there is always stuff like this happening, and I have already experienced stuff like this. But right now I'm really worried because I need money fast, like really fast. But this is a pattern that I have noticed. Every time I just get to a point where I've got to make ends meet, and then I'm struggling, and then a solution happens, but always at the end, and I'm tired of that. Like I'm really tired of that. And so, but I have realized already that it's not how much I do, and it's not how much I do. It's me. It's something in me that feels that I always have to be rushing. Yeah. And so, yes. So this is the belief that I've got now, that I have always got to do something, and if I don't do it, then I feel like if I'm not in control.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's wrong.
So that's perfect, because the truth about making money and having an abundant life is about creating value. It's not the hours that you put in. Like average thinking people, they have a belief, because we're created that way when we were small. So average have a belief that, okay, you got to put in the hours to make that amount of money. Okay. But abundant people, they think totally different. They think of value. What kind of value can I create? So this is what in our next session, your money session, RTT, this is what we will change. So we will go back and see, okay, why does your subconscious mind hold on to this belief that you're going to work really, really, really hard to earn money and then struggle all the time anyway. And then we're going to reprogram that. And the next time we post this kind of hopefully live stream coaching session, people will see the difference. And I'm super excited to hear about the difference, the shift you feel after that money session, like a week after or something. It's going to be totally cool.
I feel that my life is going to be different in 3 weeks from now. This is crazy. I just feel it.
It is
crazy.
Yeah.
So if there is anybody watching this video, like these videos are posted weekly, so just count on the number of weeks and see, and check out the video 3 weeks from now, see what happens, because I am curious. I'm curious. So this is interesting.
Could you just please share, because I found some people are a bit scared of hypnosis, and I remember you were a bit scared in the beginning too. So just calm people down, and would you say is it worth it? And would you say is it scary, or how do you feel about RTT, the session in itself?
The session is great. I mean, before the session, you are going, like, people who are scared, they are going to be scared. I was scared, not because of the hypnosis, but because I was like, oh my God, I am doing this to improve my life. I don't know how to have a nice, happy life. And is my life going to change? So it was more about, I was fearing more the change, because I'm used to struggle since I am very little. And until now, like, this is all I knew. And so for me, stepping up to live a life where I am happy and free and relaxed is something totally new. And I'm learning really to be more relaxed. And it's also work for me because I've never been this person. So it was more the fear of stepping into something greater than me. But maybe for other people, it's like, oh, she's going to have control of my mind. I mean, it's not like that. It's the hypnosis is more about being guided to find answers that you haven't really found on your own. And it's crazy because you are going to feel like in the session, you are going to feel different parts of your head talking. And so you're going to talk and you're going to say stuff. And then the other part of me would be like, oh, really? But since Linda's work is to hypnotize you, so the other parts really shut up. And so the part that is always like this crazy monkey mind that is always talking, that part goes a bit quiet, and then the other parts of your mind start talking, like, and you are like, oh my God, what is this? What's going on? So you feel a little bit, it's a little bit unusual, but it's fun. Like, if you look at it afterwards, it's fun. And it's like, wow, we are amazing. We human beings, we are amazing things.
Yeah.
So yes.
And I mean, the subconscious mind is like the most awesome computer that has ever been created. I mean, there's so much going on in our brain and in our minds. It's absolutely fantastic, and all the information that is stored, it's so much. And with hypnotherapy and RTT, you can really access all that information, and that is what you get help to change. So would you say, is it worth it?
Totally, people. And I have spent a lot of money in the past in different programs, and I have never felt so supported like now. Like with Linda, I've never felt so supported and so guided, and so this is effective. This is a process also where you have got to want to do it. So it's not just Linda's work. You have got to be ready for this. I would discourage this to people who, if you just want to put the money and say, no, you have got to be like ready and committed to do this with her and follow instructions.
Yeah.
And so yes, I was ready.
Fantastic.